Bob Page back at our Sports Desk studios. Yes, in a titanic clash this afternoon at Boston Garden, the Nets overcame the Celtics, outscoring them, in fact, 23-10 in the fourth quarter and posting a 100-91 victory. As speculation continues around the league that the Celtics may be deliberately tanking games, especially in the late stages, in the hopes of having a better chance of getting the #1 pick overall in the upcoming lottery. Well, some people think that the best seat in the house belongs to this young man. We'll show you a couple of people later on who would dispute that. Nets were down 4 at halftime. Kerry Kittles had 18 in the game. That triple gave him a 71-69 lead in the second half. One of Kittles' prime competitors for the Rookie of the Year award, Antoine Walker with 22. That feed from D. Brown. Boston up for ML Carr 75-73. Newark native Eric Williams had 29 for the Celtics, but Sam Cassell neutralized that with 30 points, 11 assists, another great game for him. And again, the Nets won it down the stretch. Now in Minnesota, the Heat staged a big fourth quarter comeback of their own, and they defeated the Timberwolves 113-108. So Miami now has a full 2-game lead over the Knicks in the race for the top spot in the NBA's Atlantic Division. These folks think they have the best seat in the house. Actually, Alonzo Mourning had the best seat in the house. Out the last 14 games, sitting on the bench with an injury, returned today, had 21 points, 8 rebounds. Third quarter, 78-75 Minnesota. Great pass from 2 New Yorkers, Tom Gugliotta to Stephon Marbury for the Jam. 27 points, 9 assists for Marbury. Ex-Nick Willie Anderson supplying offense off the bench, had 10 points for Miami, and again they won at 113-108. Meanwhile, Del Harris and the Lakers jockeying for playoff position in the West. Orlando doing the same in the East at Orlando. Magic in transition. Brian Shaw to former Syracuse All-American Ronnie Cycli. 19 points was Orlando's lead, and then more Magic. Nick Anderson hits the 3. Magic went at 110-84, and the real Magic, Magic Johnson, just shaking his head in near disbelief over how badly the Lakers played in this game. Also, in the second quarter, the NBA scoreboard, Atlanta-Toronto, 90-79. Atlanta won the game by 11. Dikembe Mutombo had 13 points and 13 rebounds. San Antonio and the Clippers, that's a 9 o'clock start. And 2 others, Utah at Denver, Seattle at Vancouver, with Utah leading Seattle by 3.5 atop the NBA's Western Conference. Now stay tuned as the Knicks host the Portland Trailblazers next here on MSG. Bob Page with an update from Denver, where the Utah Jazz have closed out the opening half on a 28-9 run. Malone to Stockton to Hornacek. He's got 12 points, and it's 59-47.
We're still capable of doing it. You know, our goal is to get the second seed and at least, you know, win our division, and we still feel that we're capable of doing that. We just have to, you know, get our act together and start winning games.
How did the team react to John being suspended?
I had no comment on that.
Do you think the team is mentally tired at this point?
Tired. We have a long way to go. You know, our goal is to be playing until June.
Is there a chance this team was so focused on the Bulls that when you beat them and you were so up, there was almost nowhere to go but down?
No, I mean, the Bulls game is so long ago. We're just not playing well right now.
Patrick, 10 minutes without a field goal. Was everyone just trying to step up and be the one to kind of snap out of it, and nothing seemed to be falling down?
That's how long it went?
10-02.
I really don't have a reason or an explanation for that. You know, we just not, things are just not going right for us right now. We lost 2 games in a row, but we still have to feel, you know, still have to believe in ourselves and feel that we're going to snap out of this.
Patrick, do you feel there's a team out of sync offensively?
Yeah, we feel out of sync. We're not, you know, we're not executing well. We're not moving hard enough. There's just a lot of things.
Patrick, other than missed shots tonight, was that all it was, or was it a little deeper than that, the lack of offense?
You know, we missed shots, but then yet, you know, we just didn't execute. We're not executing well right now. And, you know, we're not executing the way that, you know, we're capable of executing.
So execution part of the problem, according to Patrick Ewing. He had 35 tonight, shot 11 of 22. But one observation, it seemed to me, every time the Knicks would dump it down to him on the low post, they started to stand around. And when they did make their cuts to the basket, Portland's defense should be credited for their aggressiveness and their active hands. They made it difficult for Patrick to dump it off to other players. And the shooting woes, again, of Allen Houston and certainly Larry Johnson. Games like this, they need to step up for the Knicks to win when they're in trouble. And tonight, Knicks offense was certainly in trouble. Also, the play of Chris Childs fouls, no field goals for him tonight, 0 for 4. The Knicks certainly need more leadership and better playmaking from Chris in nights like this when they're having trouble scoring. 36% for the Knicks tonight, 94-88 was the final. The other issue tonight, John Starks back from a one-game suspension. Everyone wondered how his impact would impact this game. He shot 2 of 9 in 20 minutes. His shooting was certainly off. And Starks, who did not talk to us prior to the game about the suspension, met with the media just moments ago in the Knicks locker room. Here's what he had to say.
One game there. What was the incident? What happened?
I'm not talking about the incident.
Can you talk about the suspension? You dropped your hand?
Well, it's more so what I felt was right here. And, you know, he felt otherwise, you know, and that's what that.
Has it been settled? Is this going to be ongoing?
No, it's settled. You know, he suspended me for a game, and, you know, in my mind, it's over with. Now we have to move forward. We just lost a tough ball game against a team, and we have, you know, tough road ahead of us right now. So,
did it come at a bad time? You think it's
it came at a bad time, no question. You know, we lost 2 ball games, and of course it came at a bad time. But you know, that's life. You know, things do occur, and you just have to move on from it.
Did you feel like you were taking off your rhythm because you missed last night's game?
No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. You know, I just played a bad game.
John, it's like any little argument in a family, and you just move on.
Move on. You just move on. You're going to things do crop up within the team, and as a player and as a coach, you know, you have to put it behind you. And I know Jeff didn't put it behind him, and I'm man enough to put it behind me. So, you know, we just have to move forward right now.
John, how did the rest of the guys in here react to it? I mean,
they understood.
backing from them?
They understood. They understood.
Is it something that will surface in the future?
I hope not. You know, I hope not. I hope that won't be the case. You know, hopefully we can tell our differences in a different manner. But, yeah.
How would you describe your relationship with Jimmy?
It's a good relationship. It's a good relationship. Like I say, within a family thing, you do have arguments. And, you know, you don't have arguments time to time. You know, you just have to tell him. You know, he did what he thought was right, and I did what I thought was right. So, we just have to move forward.
Do you think you were ready to play today?
I was ready to play. You know, I just had a bad game.
You guys went 10 minutes without scoring a field goal in the second half.
That's
people
just trying.
You duck.
People just trying too hard to pick it up, do you think? I mean, it's kind of odd that you guys would go that long without hitting a field goal.
You said what now?
No, I said 10 minutes without a field goal. Someone usually picks it up there. What happened? Just everyone turned this goal?
No, not really. I thought we got away from going down low. And, you know, we started setting a jump shot. That'll do it every time, you know, when you're not putting the ball in the hole. So we just have to get back to playing hard, I think, and playing consistent. Right now, we have some troubles offensively. That's obvious out there on the court. And we just have to get back to being aggressive on both ends right now.
Sean, you and Jeff have had arguments before. Do you think this time you might have crossed the line, as Jeff said?
I don't see it as no line. I don't see a line out there. You know, it's man to man. You know, we have a discussion. He sees that I crossed the line in his eyes, and you know, that's him. Other than that, you know, I don't see no line.
Is that a difficult thing? You know, you say it's over with. Is that a difficult thing in your mind?
No, it's over with. You know, me and Jeff had many arguments before, and we didn't learn to put things behind us. You know, like I say, you don't have, you know, you're not going to agree on everything. And so when you don't agree on everything, words may be said. And you know, that was the case with yesterday. So everything was settled.
Hey, big fella, let me do this, man.
Okay, that's it.
Thank you. No sweat.
So John Starks able to smile after another loss.
Surprisingly.
Why was he in good humor? Could you tell?
I'm not really sure. There was such a big crowd around his locker, and he was obviously expecting all the questions. He handled them okay and just made a little joke there at the end. I think he's ready to move on.
All right, Deb Kaufman joins us from the Knick locker room. What else did you hear? We heard from Patrick Ewing. We've heard from Jeff Van Gundy. They both said the team teams in an offensive slump. Is offense the primary subject in there?
Absolutely. Talk to Chris Childs, and he's obviously the guy who should be leading the offense. He said they're thinking too much, and they're too robotic out there, and that if they just loosen up a little bit, and they're probably tight because they've lost a couple games, and that's one of the reasons why they're so robotic out there. The other thing he said is defenses are just obviously keying on Patrick Ewing, and they need to have a second option. They need to be able to go somewhere else, and it's just not coming. Larry Johnson didn't take a shot until the very end of the second half. He went, 15 minutes or so without even putting up a field goal. So attempt. And Allen Houston is cold as ice. He can't buy a basket since he's had that stomach problem. So they need to have somewhere else to go. And with Chris Childs and Charlie Ward, neither of them handling the ball spectacularly and setting anybody up so terrifically, without Patrick, they're in trouble. What
did Larry Johnson say? Did you get a chance to talk to him about the offense and the fact he didn't get a shot for 10, 12 minutes?
Actually, we were about to and had to run in here. So we didn't hear from him.
Okay, off that subject. What about Allen Houston?
I'll tell you why. He was with Stacey Ogbutt, I guess his old UNLV teammate, and kibitzing over in the corner. And he didn't seem too upset, actually, about the loss. They were having a little reunion there, and so we didn't get a chance to talk to him.
Allen Houston has been in a shooting slump. It's been well documented. Certainly the Knicks could use his three-point shooting to get this offense going. What was he talking about back there?
Allen Houston?
Yes.
Well, I talked to him, and I did mention to him that it seemed like he had taken a couple of the misses that he had were quick shots. And that maybe something he was just trying to do to break out of the slump he's been in, and he bristled at that, did not like the question, said not at all, that if he sees an open shot, he's going to take it. He's always looking for the open look, and that they must have been open or he wouldn't have taken it just because they're quick. But that's a big problem for the Knicks. If he takes that quick shot or Chris Childs takes that quick shot and there's nobody to rebound, then the defense is caught on the other end, and they were scored on a couple of times. So those quick shots don't help.
What else did you hear? Was Oakley talking after this one? I know he has choice words whenever things don't go the Knicks way.
He didn't want to comment about the John Starks thing. Also, I'm sure you heard from Patrick. He said no comment on the incident. The one thing that was interesting, Jeff Van Gundy said, almost pleased that they have veteran leadership on the team at this time. It's time for them to step up. And I think Charles Oakley is a big part of that in the locker room. He doesn't like to see this kind of thing from Starks. John admitted it was a bad time of the year for this to happen. He doesn't think, he hopes it doesn't happen again. Although when he was asked, do you think it'll happen again? I would have rather him said no, but he said, I hope not.
I hope not.
That wasn't such a resounding denial. But
did we get any insight from listening to Starks? Now, we just listened to what he said. It sounded to me like he was telling Jeff Van Gundy how to coach the team. There was a difference of opinion on something going on within the team. Did you get any more insight in talking to him?
Well, here's what I understand happened. We know that he missed a treatment, I guess, for his back after the Denver game, or in Denver. And he just recently was fined, and I think it showed up on his paycheck on Thursday.
For missing a treatment?
Right.
He was upset.
He was upset that he was fined, and he just, I guess, got fined because I think it just came out of his paycheck. So Friday,
he goes to practice Friday.
Friday went to practice and argued about it with Van Gundy. It was I think it was about the we think it was about the fine, about the missing the treatment, which is where you heard Van Gundy saying it was about preparation.
Right.
We differed in preparation. In other words, he should have been more prepared for the game by getting the treatment. Starks is mad. They had the big argument in front of players, including new players and young players, that Van Gundy thought he needed to do something in order to, show that he's not an assistant anymore that can argue with John. He's now the head coach, and there has to be rules. And we're under the impression that that's what it was.
So Starks gets hit in the wallet. He's upset, comes to practice on Friday, lets Jeff Van Gundy know about it, probably in the wrong format, in front of the team rather than behind closed doors.
Right. And he went on to say tonight that they have a good relationship. They have somewhat of a close relationship, I think, which is where, sometimes arguments can happen. But he crossed the line, as Jeff Van Gundy said, and I think that's what happened.
So there's the explanation of the famous cross the line quote that we heard from Jeff Van Gundy following the suspension of John Starks. Thanks to Deb Kaufman for joining us from the MSG right here in our studios, of course, and the Knicks locker room. The Knicks beaten 94-88. They're now 32-4 this year when having a lead at halftime. Well, Jeff Van Gundy thought he had something going with the Knicks leading by 13 in the first half. They could not hold off Portland and their young stars, including Isaiah, or call him JR. Call him anything you want, but when Ryder is on the mark, there are troubles. He was a mismatch for John Starks tonight. J.R. Ryder was special. Chris Childs, the donut, 0 for 4 shooting-wise, as the Knicks guards 5 for 28 in the 6-point defeat. And Portland is the hottest team in the NBA, and that is the hottest coach, P.J. Carlesimo. Our director, Bobby Lewis, our producer, Howie Singer. The executive producer of